Hello, everyone. It's Cindy from the Oshawa Adult Day Program at Faith Place. Hope everyone is doing well. Today, I'm going to take you through a walk through a little hidden gem in Oshawa called the Oshawa Zoo. I went there on the weekend and thought I might share with you some of the animals and some of the things going on at the zoo. So let's get started. Walk with me on a visit through the Oshawa Zoo. The Oshawa Zoo and Fun Farm opened its gates on July 29th in 1993. Their goal was to have a clean, green, interactive mix of friendly exotic animals, domestic animals. Now, because of COVID-19, we were not able to feed the lemurs the raisins. That's one of my favorite parts. Put the little raisins in your hands and they pick them up with their little fingers. But because they're primates, we can transmit the COVID-19 disease to them. These two lovely people will greet you as you enter past the gate. This is a new thing in the zoo this year. They serve a wide variety of food to satisfy all ages. I enjoyed the iced lemonade because it was extremely hot outside. Now, where this food booth was usually before the little cage, looked like a big giant table with all the little chicks in there. And you could pick up the chicks and hold them and play with them and the kids could see them. But again, because of COVID-19, they replaced that. You may recognize this here bird in the next few pictures. These are also new to the zoo. I had to ask the zookeeper what they were called because I've never seen them before, except on a cartoon, which you may recognize in this picture. The actual name of this is a red-billed hornbird. And they've got so much design inside their beak. And they're a very, very, very large bird, very large bird. You can see the red tinge in the one in the right-hand corner. Oops. And Zazu from the Lion King movie, he was actually a red-billed hornbird. This next, right next to the birds, the bird cage was here, and right next to it was one of my favorite primates you may recognize from another popular movie. And this was a picture I took. Every animal at the zoo right now has got little tiny babies, all these babies running around. So this was the mummy lemur, and she was chewing on some grass. I think it looked like a dandelion leaf or almost. And the little guy came up and took a little bite out of it. You can see a piece of the leaf hanging from the little baby's mouth. They're such smart animals. There they were with the baby and the mummy. And somebody threw something in the cage. I don't know what it was, somebody farther back. I don't know if they were trying to feed it the popcorn, what they weren't supposed to do, but as soon as they threw it in, his face went right up. Her face went right up and looking to the sky to see where it came from. This is a look in from the lemur cage and the bird cage. If you're looking up, these are all the different cages here and how big the zoo is. And you can go around to the left where the people are standing or around the side. Everyone was social distancing. They were still selling popcorn to feed the animals, but you had to drop it on the ground. No hand feeding allowed. Everyone enjoyed feeding and watching the animals come close and eat. This is another view. If you see here the arrow, it says lemurs and red-billed hornbirds in that red barn. That's where you enter, okay? And you walk down the first arrow and you can cross across the second arrow and it goes far behind these pens or straight up through. There's a nice goat. They were so warm that they didn't want to eat the popcorn. All they wanted to do was eat on the hay. And I found this guy a little interesting. The hay on this bearded goat landed perfectly on his face. It looked like somebody had branded it with a letter A, but it's actually just how the straw fell. I thought it was pretty cool. There's another goat. She could smell the popcorn, and I was trying to drop it on the ground because you're not allowed to hand feed, but she just wasn't giving me the chance. Just trying to get it. Say cheese. These next animals are larger than appear on TV, and their fur is so soft. Did I give it away by the picture? The llama. They had quite a few llamas there. This one's a large one. And this one had a little bit of a buck tooth. Here he is up close, trying to get up to see the popcorn. I would throw some on the ground, but they weren't having it. They wanted it out of my hand, which I couldn't do. This deer was so hot that he decided to go into the bin that they were holding all the hay for the animals in. He just climbed up inside of it and buried himself halfway in the hay to keep warm, or to keep cool. And there's the horses. They usually have pony rides, but because of COVID, you could only interact with them through the fence. It was still a very nice experience. There's the two little ponies giving each other a little kiss. And this one was off to the side. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pony. One of my favorites. It's been there for a long time, actually. I had no idea what this little animal was. Was it a kangaroo? Was it a rabbit? Or maybe a jackrabbit? I asked the zoo workers and they informed me that it was called a mara. The next few pictures show a few more of these animals. See how long their back feet are and their front feet? Almost looks like a kangaroo or jackrabbit. And their face is like round, short and rounded. They're new to the zoo. There's a close-up. See how I said the face was short and rounded? Another shot of them. Now, wow, a four-horned sheep. I have never, ever seen one of these before. It's called a Jacob sheep or a British sheep. How many of you have actually seen a four-horned sheep like that? I was quite astonished. There's the little buddy he was sharing the pen with. Just gonna move over here. There we go. These were the deer that were cooling off. You see how they have the little babies there as well? Well, this little deer up close, the brown with the white specks on it, I saw him far back from the fence and he was chewing away on something. And it looked like a bit of a rope. So I put out my popcorn to try and get him to come over. And he came over to me and I was able to trick him and pull out the cord from his mouth. It must have been like 4 or 5 feet long, went right down into his tummy. So I took it out, I'm looking at it, and it looked to be the rope that they tie the hay barrels around, but somebody just forgot to take it out. So I took that out and I gave him some popcorn instead. We call these guys the three amigos, the three donkeys. Every time you go up close to them and you rub their side of their face, they close their eyes like they're in heaven. There's a picture of me with the donkeys. That was about the only shaded part that day. Can you guess what animal might be coming next? You got it, a pot-bellied pig. These pigs are actually huge, huge animals. There's an up close further one, and they run about 6 to 8 feet long or more. They're just amazingly big animals. There's a little baby one coming up to see me, looking for the popcorn. And his little brother, well, not quite so little, but. And they decided to take a little cool bath in the mud puddle. The zookeepers had to keep dumping water in the holes because it was so hot it dried up quickly. So you see all around the hole it's dry. That's because the zookeeper had just come by and dumped a bunch of water in there for them. And there's a horn bull, a ram. Look at how big these ram antlers are. It took my whole hand like this to wrap around the width of the horns. And you think they'd be hard. They're sort of soft a little bit on the top, but you can feel each grain. You can see the grainage in there, and you can feel each grain. And he just let me rub on his horns as he was trying to eat. He would take a bite and then lift his head up, and then I'd rub on his horns. Very, 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 very huge antlers. These guys, I guess, are having a standoff. The little ponies with the little guy. This was designated and built by the students in the construction class at SHSM program at Maxwell Heights in May of 2019. They built the pen for the next animals that you'll see. They designed the kangaroo and the rabbit areas. And here you see the kangaroo. The little one guy's got his little pouch there. A lot of work done in there. And the chicks that used to be at the front that you could hold and play with before, they're now in the shade. Look at how long the legs are on some of those chicks. There's a close-up picture of a couple of the ducks. They're all digging in the ground. Not sure what kind of duck this one is, with the tuft of hair on the top of its head. Maybe you could leave a little comment below and let me know what kind it was. He was a very skittish kind of duck though, keeping his eye right on me the whole time. Do you know what kind of rooster this one is? Rhode Island red rooster. I just thought the colors were absolutely beautiful. And again, it's another big bird. The males have a third talon called a spur to help them with hunting and killing. So if you notice, they'll have 3 toes and then a 4th one that's higher up and it's shorter, called a spur. And that was the Rhode Island red when he stood up. The females don't have them. See, they'll have their 3 feet or 3 talon things, but they don't have that other spur. Just the males have it. Out of the way. And they were digging holes and laying in them to keep cool, which I'd never seen before. I thought they only did this when they were laying eggs, but apparently they do it to keep cool as well. Very different seeing that. I had never seen that before. This is another one of the female or the male roosters. They're quite big animals. And they have all different colored ones. It's a nice close-up one. She's checking me out big time, he is. Right up close to the gate. I thought he was going to peck me right in the nose. I hope you enjoyed the walk with me through the Oshawa Zoo. And if you get a chance, check out the animals. Very relaxing. Hope you have a great day.